welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, we have multiple ways we can be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those who need instant gratification, and the show's Twitter feed is at SKiMPod, SKiMPod.
Stays Crunchy.
For the more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again being spelled with a K.
Crunchy.
Hey, feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311.
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
We're available by Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, anywhere fine podcasts are available. And of course, at the website, stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share wherever possible, including on YouTube, where we can now be found at Stays Crunchy. And over on Twitch, where we're still Stays Crunchy and Milk. Our personal Twitters are
Tatum216,
Lunchbox2099,
The Real ODP.
And I'm your host, the Internet's Tayrel713.
Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy. Stays Crunchy.
So, one, happy Father's Day to all my fathers out there, Anthony included.
thank you.
Happy Juneteenth to all those of us who come from those who were once enslaved. And though we are now free, we do not have justice. But freedom, well, we'll go where we're at. And, as a part of Juneteenth celebrations, they take it to, have red drinks. So right now I'm drinking my my black cherry celestial seasonings tea. But I also got...
What's the significance of the red drink?
I get you there. But I also got me some of that red Everfair. We're gonna pop that bad boy. And one time. That is, of course, cranberry lime. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. The red is, of course, the blood of the people. It's always what it's representative of.
I thought it would be kind of like a Jesus thing.
No. The blood of the slaves, not the blood of the
I didn't mean
blood of the lamb
same,
per se.
But I meant like an equivalent of sorts.
I hear you.
Same
I hear
vein.
you, man. Yeah, bro. Juneteenth is a wild one. In that, as the story is told, of course, it's just that 2 months after the war ended, Union troops show up in Texas to let the people know that those who had been enslaved know that the Union had won the war, and they are indeed free. Is how most of the time gets served up to us. But the reality of it is the Union showed up to enforce that these people were now free. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just telling them that they're free. Yeah, well, I'm saying people probably knew, but it took motherfuckers coming through and be like, yeah, they free, and we here to make sure y'all know and understand that they are free, and you got to let them cook. You know what I'm saying? So
Or not cook, rather.
Well, cook for themselves, if anything. Yeah. I was talking to both the kids about this morning. I tried to give them an explanation of why it works, and we had some celebratory red drink ourselves this morning. The Simply fruit punch, which is a pretty fantastic beverage. The Simply
Top
products
notch.
are all pretty good. Yeah.
Top notch.
But it's not that I've been aware of Juneteenth for a very long time, actually, but I've not been going up for Juneteenth like I have since George Floyd. 2020 really did some things for my brain about being black in America, and so I was really like, yeah, we have to celebrate the wins we are getting. Now I keep seeing people writing stuff like they shouldn't be holiday making Juneteenth. They should not make Juneteenth so commercial, and I'm like, I mean, that's how holidays work. Holidays get commercialized. I know that in people's minds, they're like, we're protecting the sanctity of Juneteenth. But also, I'm like, bruh, a Juneteenth car sale from Toyota, the Juneteenth Toyota-thon.
What do you think a Juneteenth Little Debbie snap cake would look like?
What? Red, yellow,
I hope
green?
it would just be like basically the Christmas tree, just with some I don't know what you do for black, but you can make black sugar. Yeah, some red, black, and green sprinkles. I fuck with it. Red cake instead of the white cake they use in there.
Yeah, because they already got I think in the past they had like a red velvet cupcake.
Yeah.
They could do it like a red velvet with black, yellow, and green.
I think they do like the chocolate trees, like in addition to the white trees with the red and green sprinkles. Yeah. So they could just repurpose one of the chocolate trees.
I'm saying, I know, like I said, there are those out there who are like, no, I need this. What you sipping on, Ant?
This is sparkling watermelon juice
Nice. Where you find that at?
at the Trader Joe's. I refuse to say that it's for basic bitches. I'm beyond basic, so I love Trader Joe's.
Well, like I said,
Isn't that ironic that something that's like has so much depth to it would be referred to as being for basic bitches?
Yeah, it's funny. I know we're supposed to be talking about Juneteenth, but like
we come back around.
it's this one video I've seen. It's like, I love when me and my girlfriend go to Trader Joe's on Saturdays so we can go to another store to get the stuff we need, which is sort of true. But like Trader Joe's does have like some really good stuff there.
You gotta know what you're going in there for.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's is good for cheese. They got real good cheese products. You know what I'm saying? It's good for your beers and your wines. It's good. It's got some decent bread. They got a great freezer section.
Yo, I'm telling you, that elote that you got me in Chicago.
Yeah,
I fuck with it so much now. I just want to eat popcorn like every day with elote seasoning on it.
I love how it's happened more than once. Like, I'll get you something and you kind of like don't say nothing, and I know you don't say nothing. I know you haven't quite taken it in yet. I remember when I got you a heated blanket for Christmas, and I was like, "Did you try it?" He was like, "No, not yet." But then, like 3 or 4 months later, you hit me up like, "Yeah, this the shit." I was like, "Yeah, I got it."
I've already had heated blankets. That wasn't new to me. When I hit you up, I had finally used the one you got me. Oh. But I had heated blankets when I was a kid.
Okay.
I mean, I appreciate the heated blanket. Like, I actually just put it away for the year, like last week because it was still out. It was at like the foot of my bed, so I stored it away in the trunk. But yeah, like I'd used heated blankets before. But like what you're describing is true. I do go through that process mentally with things that I don't know of or are brand new to me. I go through a feeling out process, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
plus,
we're in Chicago.
Like, you handed me a seasoning that's got like 7 different things in it. I didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
But I knew when I had it, I knew before we even went to Chicago, I was like, lunch would like this. Because it's a little sweet and spicy and peppery. And cheesy.
Yeah, like the whole thing was like I was making popcorn because I was hungry and I didn't like it was late at night. It was like 9:30 and I didn't want to make a full meal because I was gonna go lay down and watch TV. So I wanted popcorn, but I didn't want just popcorn. So I was like looking at my spice rack and I'm just like, what can I put on here to like give it a little something, but it's not gonna like kill me. Like kill my taste buds, like overpower. Like I didn't want to put chili powder all over it. You know, that would have gotten to be too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was looking at it, and I was like, that elote stuff was pretty good when I mixed it in with other stuff. I wonder how it would be as just a seasoning on popcorn. And I can't go back. I did it last night. I took a big mixing bowl. I made 2 bags of popcorn in the microwave. Mm-hmm. I dumped some in, I was stacking it like levels. Pour some more in, more elote, and I did it all the way to the top. I had a giant mixing bowl of popcorn, and that, truth be told, was actually my dinner last night.
Well, next time you go to the movies, you should make you a little elote pack to put on your popcorn.
I got to get a trench coat so I can sneak in a 3-liter of Faygo and a giant thing of elote popcorn.
Well, like I said, I got saying like as we bring it back around, I go for Juneteenth, and I like the idea of Juneteenth becoming more of a. If we don't do anything with it, it ends up being like quiet. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want this shit to be quiet. I want this shit to be loud as fuck every goddamn 19th of June going forward. I want everybody to be like talking Juneteenth this, Juneteenth that. What y'all doing for Juneteenth? Ooh, we got Juneteenth off. What we doing? I want that shit to be a big fucking deal, not a quiet deal. I know that in this great nation, we still have not got the justice we deserve. We still ain't got our 40 acres or a mule.
Yep.
But just being quiet about it and not literally celebrating Juneteenth ain't gonna make that come no sooner.
I think its thunder was stolen a little bit this year. The fact that it was also Father's Day.
I guess I don't really go up for Father's Day like that. Actually, I end up, which is something. Fuck it. I mean, we'll get into it.
You don't. But
Yeah.
all the people that may have listened or maybe participated in Juneteenth that aren't black
Yeah.
are more focused on Father's Day because it has something to do with them, whereas
Yeah.
Juneteenth is them learning about something that has to do with not them. But because they have Father's Day today, they have no incentive to listen to something that's not about them.
True. Well, like I
And
said,
then
for this year,
Clevelanders, this is the anniversary of our NBA championship this year.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we won, and again, that was Father's Day that year too. I remember I was in Kansas getting my children from my mama's house.
I'll never forget J.R. Smith crying in the postgame and hugging his dad.
Yeah, so it's like, oh man, what a time. But we'll get to it. I'll tell you about Father's Day when we get a little further into the show. For right now, though, lend me a motherfucking ear so I can tell you who running with my brothers headed for the home base with a steady pace on a face that just reads race. The road ahead goes on and on. The shit is getting longer than the motherfucking marathon. Running on, but never running out and staying wide. And if I get tired, I can still try out. Hitchhiking if that's what I gotta do. But nobody picking up a nigga with an attitude. Confused. Yo, but Dre's a nigga with nothing to lose. One of the few who's been accused and abused of the crime of poisoning young minds. But you don't know shit till you been in my shoes. And Dre is back from the CPT. Dropping some shit that's DOPE. So fuck the POLICE and any motherfucker that disagree. Stuck in running hard, hauling ass. Cause I've been a nigga known for having a notorious past. My mind was sick. My temper was too quick. Now the FBI's all over my dick. Hello and welcome to it. Stage Crunchy and Milk. It's episode 450. And word up, Montreal, Quebec. It's the show for the week of June 20th, 2022, and I'm joined by my best friends. It's Tatum216.
Hola, mi amigos.
Slushbox2099.
Que paso?
I see. That was Dre's verse, one of Dre's verses, because he has a couple verses on NWA's classic to me, 100 Miles of Running. It's an EP they dropped right before Niggas for Life, and I feel like people slept on it. And what was dope about that was my brother had that like CD, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, that was like one of the first CDs like I ever saw, you know what I'm saying? And I was looking it up the other day on Discogs. I was like, can I buy that? Is that a record that's available? And apparently it is. So I might just end up snagging that. That's on my gym playlist. That song is show up at the right time, can get your boy moving. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I gotta go. It's not my gym playlist as much as my workout playlist. You feel me? But we in the building. You know what it is. We remote. Remote means we do this, we do that, we get the fuck out of here. And we're trying to get out here before 1 a.m, according to Box. So let's hit the ground running. And what I'm gonna what I'm gonna do instead of news this week is I found another one of those Buzzfeed articles. You know what I'm saying? Those little listicles. They seem to be a good deal of fun. We may not go through the whole one because this is longer than that last one we did, but this is people are sharing their worst roommate experiences, and they range from unhinged to bestie. You better move out. This is gathered by Angelica Martinez over at Buzzfeed, and these are some kinds of delight. Roommates are rough, y'all. Whether you're living with your BFF or a total stranger, it's a weird experience to have another human up in your space and business all the time. To be honest, it seems as if just about everyone has some kind of roommate horror story. So Redditor users u/_proper noun_ asks Reddit, what are your worst roommate stories? Here are 28 of the very best or perhaps worst ones. And again, like 28, that's a lot. I don't know if you're going to run through all those. But number 1, my first college roommate hated doing laundry, so he wore my underwear without asking when his were dirty. It never felt like my underwear again after he'd been in it. I remember stealing my brother's underwear when I ran out of draw. So I mean, maybe I'm that dude. But I mean, here's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So what
That's
the fuck?
different. That's totally different.
Shit. I had a roommate in college who used to play Bittersweet Symphony on repeat all day, every day. From the minute I moved in to even after I moved out. I moved down the hall to another kid's room because this is just one of the super weird things he used to do. And I still used to hear it constantly playing whenever I walked by. I really used to like that song too, but it's ruined for me. In case you want to experience the horror for yourself, here's the song they played again and again. I'm going to push play on this because I don't know bitter. You're not going to hear it, but I'm going to hear it.
Yeah, I don't know the song.
Oh yeah, I do know. I know that song. Dun, 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 dun. You'd know it if you heard it. You'd be like, oh, okay, I know that track. Number 3, the scary roommate who is celebrating Halloween year round, I guess. Oh my God, I'm gonna send y'all this picture because it's fucked up. My housemate still hasn't gotten rid of his pumpkin from Halloween. I'm gonna open this image in a new tab. I'm going to put the link in the chat so y'all can see this situation because you need to see it. Whew. Oh.
Oh man, that is fucked up. It looked like a pile of poo.
I feel like I don't want to click on this. Yeah, I shouldn't have clicked on that.
Number 4, I had a roommate who absolutely refused to buy toilet paper. After weeks of her stealing hours, the 3 of us started hiding it so she would be forced to buy her own. Instead, she started taking heaps of napkins from restaurants and stealing rolls of our paper towels. One night, we all went out to dinner and came home, and the entire basement was flooded because she backed up the toilet with God only knows how much shit that shouldn't have ever been flushed. What the fuck? Number 5, this person who decided if they don't want to use the Wi-Fi, nobody can. Welcome to this today, and it's a letter. It's a little note written on a whiteboard. It says, "Hey, I've been shutting off Wi-Fi because it turns out it's really bad for your health. Sorry about inconvenience. Was trying to only do it after you fell asleep. There's info on the web about how it can cause cancer, infertility, headaches, and disrupt cell repair while you sleep. If you're interested." Okay, that's just weird. I don't know if that counts on a list. No, I was not having trouble reading that, but thank you, BuzzFeed, for clarifying. Number 6, I had a roommate who would attempt to leave unjustified, scathing, passive-aggressive notes for just everyone, our apartment, neighbors, the owners of the car parked outside, and even our landlady. The kind of note with overtly polite language, underlines, and randomly capitalized words, always written in red marker, always rude enough to get the shit beaten out of her, always signed from both of us. I spent that year following her around and removing the notes as quickly and quietly as possible. Oh my God. So she wrote these notes, but she said, it's from us. Like, no, you psychopath. What the fuck? Number 7, first year of college, my friend's roommate came stumbling into the dorm room one night. It was blatantly obvious that she was drunk beyond reason. She started shouting, "I need to go to the bathroom," which woke up my friend. She saw her roommate staggering back and forth through the doorway, but stayed in bed because she really didn't know how to react. Before the roommate left to go to the party, she placed her white Mac laptop on her chair by her desk. So what we think happened was that the white from the laptop on the seat made the chair look like a toilet. In the mind of a drunken roommate, she approached the chair, pulled down her pants, and sat on her laptop. There was only one way this could go. Although her laptop was covered in piss and shit,
Whoa.
she denied that it ever happened. I don't know what to do with that. Number 8, the person who treats their spatulas like a cast iron pan and doesn't wash them. Oh no. Once again, I need to send you guys the image.
I'll check it out before you start.
Oh no.
That's not good.
It is not good. It is. It's plastic utensils just covered in filth. Just not scrubbed, not washed, not nothing. Anyway, oh my God. Let's see. 3 worst girls I'm bad at college. Number 9, I'm going to give you number. We're going to just move on. I lived with these 3 of the worst girls I've ever met when I was in college. I signed a year-long lease with them, then lasted 2 months before I noped out and found some poor soul to take over my lease. They ignored me 98% of the time, except for when they ate my food in the fridge before going downtown, which they did every week from Thursday through Sunday. And when they locked themselves out, which happened Thursday through Sunday when they were coming home from the bar, they also stood outside my door and loudly made fun of me or mocked my appearance. I'm a, I'm
No.
a pretty chill person, so usually I would just hang out with other friends and just come home to sleep. But one day, a friend accidentally let slip to one of the girls that I'm allergic to avocado.
Oh
The
shit.
next the next day, I opened the fridge and saw they cut all their avocados in half and piled them on and around my food in the fridge. They didn't know that I only get sick when I eat avocado, not from being around it. So they just went and wasted time and money in hopes of what? Poisoning me,
Killing
making
me.
me sick, giving me an allergic reaction. Come on, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, I've other than like family members and people I'm having sex with, I've never lived with anybody else before. Um,
Yeah,
like
yeah. I don't. I mean, I guess I live with my man Chuck D's people back in the day, and but that was a whole family I was living with. You know what I'm saying? It's not really roomies.
yeah.
So, the roommate who found "Don't destroy your roommate's belongings" to be an unreasonable request. Asked my former flatmate not to use metalware in my nonstick pot. Was told I was being unreasonable and that they wouldn't scratch. They wouldn't scratch it. My sister's identical pot of the same age. Picture for comparison. Yeah, they fucked up this dude's pots, but like just wrecked him because
Yeah.
clearly they used like they were scraping the shit out of him. Oh my goodness. Let me scroll down a little bit. The roommate who really embodied the gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss energy.
Oh.
One of my housemates caught my bad roommate smoking in the house, and he lied and said I told him it was okay. And so what this is this is some Apple messages. I'd appreciate if you didn't tell people I said it was okay to smoke tobacco in the house when I never said that. And the response is, you said it in the group message a long time ago. I asked if cigs inside was cool, and you said no, only in our room. And you said no, only in your room. Find the text and I'll take it back. I can't because I delete my messages every so often to conserve storage. Damn, that sucks. Don't smoke tobacco in the house is what they responded to their roommate on. Jesus Christ, man. Roomies are too. We had a ton of food going missing, and we all knew who it was. But my best bud, landlord, discreetly set up a webcam in the kitchen. Within a couple of days, we caught the guy eating a stick of butter straight from the wrapper.
Shit.
And then he went into the pantry, grabbed a bag of sugar, and just started chugging it. Motherfucker was making cookies in his mouth. Oh, for fuck's sake. Show title. Mouth cookies. All right, let me scroll down a few more. Like I said, it's getting already it's going ham. Oh, no, I'm not showing y'all the picture of this. The fact that I just saw this picture of this is fucking me up right now. Just take what I'm going to read it to you, and I'm not going to see the picture of it. The unhinged roommate, huh?
So I want to see the picture.
You don't.
Okay.
Trust me when I tell you that. The unhinged roommate who has the gunk from inside her pimples on the mirror, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. I've asked her to stop popping her pimples and sticking the pus on the mirrors 3 times already. This is just embarrassing for her now. I don't even want to look at this. I'm scrolling past it. I'm trying to continue scrolling past it. I don't want to see that. The fact I saw a little bit of it is really going to ruin my dreams tonight.
Oh yeah, well, I used to. I don't do it as much as I did before, but I used to look at TikTok's Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, nah, I'm good. I think I'd end up vomiting. Let's see. I live with a roommate who was a complete and total narcissist. It was a $1,500 per month apartment, 3-bedroom in a nice part of town that should have been $500 a person. But he was lazy and maybe contributed $150 of that. His girlfriend wasn't much better, contributing about the same amount per month. And she was at least more pleasant to talk to. I lived with them for about 6 months and paid the $1,200 to cover their rent because I didn't want my credit to take the hit, but take the hit that would result from an eviction. The whole time they were going out to eat and whining and dining each other. Meanwhile, I could never do anything because I was burning up all my cash just trying to cover the rent. Of course, I talked to him to say it stressed me out and I couldn't afford food most of the time. But since he was a piece of shit narcissist, he would turn the argument around to somehow make it about how ungrateful I was. The end finally came when I spoke with the leasing office people and explained that while I loved the apartment, I was the only one who was really giving the property managers any money, and the situation was untenable. I also said I would love to continue doing business with them, possibly with a smaller apartment, but I was locked into my lease and couldn't afford to pay an early termination fee because these assholes I lived with were sucking me dry. They looked at my paperwork and said, well, it looks like only my asshole roommate filled out the lease paperwork. So you have no legal obligation to pay rent.
Oh.
I thought a few moments and then said to the agent, you should probably get eviction paperwork ready for next month. I have no intention of continuing to fund their lavish lifestyle. What other units do you have? I went back to the apartment and began packing. One day they came home to see my bedroom was empty and my car was gone. They started packing like crazy for 3 days, having to throw away a lot of their stuff that they were going to get locked out before they could get to it all. On the second day, the power was turned off because it was in my name at the old apartment. And now I have my own place. Fuck those people. I feel like that's a solid. I'm gonna scroll through and see if there's any other ones I want to pull up on it. Okay, this will be the last one. I swear. Oh shit. Number 25 is what this one is. I live with a magician.
Wow.
Of many odd moments, the one I remember vividly was when he was about to leave the country for nearly 2 months. Before he left, hours before going to the airport, he filled the freezer with whole chickens that he got. Then he got really upset when we ate them to free up space. Man, the magician part served no purpose. I was hoping it was gonna be some shit about magic.
It made the chicken disappear.
All right, I'll do you the last one. 28. It's got a little meat on this gristle. The magician really was a bit disappointing. I'm a girl and I live with a girl, so you think our apartment will be fairly clean, right? I would not. I don't know why you think I would think that, but I simply wouldn't.
Women are messy.
Nope. My roommate was a huge slob. Not just clothes on the floor type stuff, but legitimately gross and disgusting messiness. Like she left her menstruating dogs bloody panty liners? Okay, she left her menstruating dog's bloody panty liners on the coffee table in the living room. She cracked open eggs to use the whites and then left the shells and yolks in the sink to fester. She left half-eaten trays of sushi on top of our bookcase so her dog wouldn't get them. Then I'd find them days later when the smell betrayed their location. Wow. Other than the slovenly lifestyle, she was a fairly good roommate. So this was a pretty significant flaw that I'd been meaning to talk to her about for a while. A couple weeks later, she went on a 3-week vacation with her family. She made a minimal attempt at cleaning up some of her stuff, which I appreciated. However, Thursday night I got home from work to a horrible smell lingering in the house, kind of like a vanilla beer mold, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I went through the fridge and threw all of her food out. I took out every garbage in the house, and the smell was still there. I scanned the tops of all the furniture to make sure there wasn't a sushi tray I'd missed, but nothing. Defeated, I went to bed. The next morning, the smell was even worse than I thought. Worse than ever, forgive me. I walked past the door to her room, which had been shut since she left, and the smell seemed worse there, so I ventured inside. The putrid stench hung thickly in the air. I immediately noticed my large Pyrex lasagna dish in the corner, covered in tinfoil. Unthinkingly, I removed the tinfoil, and a cloud of these tiny brown gnat-like insects swarmed out from underneath. I gasped, coughed, and choked as one of these insects flew up my nose and became attached to the back wall of my nasal pharynx. You know the spot where sometimes loogies get stuck, where you can either blow them out or cough them out, where you can either blow them out or cough them out? That spot, I could feel it wriggling, but it was pasted to my nasal passages, so no way out. At that moment, I was so disgusted and blind with fury, I paid it no mind. I looked down at the pan and what had formerly been banana bread to see chunky gelatinous substance, which was now wriggling with maggots and covered with filamentous black fungus. It was too much. I grabbed the dish, stormed out into the parking lot, and chucked the whole thing into the dumpster while cursing my roommate loudly. When I got back inside, I got in the shower and became more aware of the sensation of the insect so deep up my nose. It felt as if it were touching my brain. I began to vomit for the next half hour. I puked so hard that it came out my nose. I thought it burnt like a motherfucker. I think it finally dislodged the fly because I couldn't feel anything after that. That was one of the most disgusting things I'd ever seen in my life, and I work in a hospital. I'm sorry you had to hear that. I feel bad having read this to you now. We are all worse for it. Yuck. Whew. Anyway, that was the news for the week. And Box, are y'all tag teaming your situation, or y'all going, or are we doing separates?
No, we can tag team it.
All right, then first up as always is Tatum with some story time at Lunchbox sprinkled in on that bitch for a delicious melange of storytelling. Enjoy.
I'll let you start lunch because of course it starts with you. This story.
So, a couple months back, I had found out Chris Rock was coming to Cleveland. Now, this is pre-Smack Heard Around the World. So, me and a buddy had decided to get tickets. No one else in our friend group seemed interested. So, I got tickets like as soon as they went on sale. And now that was back in like February that we bought the tickets. So, like 4 months ago. And since that time, he's been participating in kind of like a career training course of sorts at a local university. And it just so happens that the courses, they meet once a week, and it's on Thursday evening when the Chris Rock show was going to be. And we had tried to sell the tickets, see if like we could find anyone who wanted them that he knew of or whatever. And we couldn't really find anyone that was available. And my other buddy, he couldn't make it because he was going to be out of town, so he couldn't go. So I asked Anthony if he wanted to go, and he obliged. So we ended up meeting downtown at the Playhouse Square where the show was going to be at, and it was a little hectic getting in because they don't do a good job of coordinating. Like people just kind of like barge their way in without any real order. So like it was becoming like multiple lines were merging into one line, which was a little like frustrating. But like once you get in, like it moves pretty quick because they have things properly labeled like on the ticket to tell you kind of like where you need to go. So I knew exactly what door we needed to get into to get to the actual spot where our seats were. So that part's nice. But we got in, and I can tell you our theater is very old. Like it was built a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've definitely put COVID weight on. I'm back to being too big of a big boy. And oh hey, my cat just decided to jump over.
You just keep away from the keyboard.
Yeah. So we got to our seats, and I feel bad for Anthony in that Anthony was squeezed between me and a lady who was plus size, we'll say. So okay. I try to do my best to kind of like shimmy my body because I'm smart in that like I understand the situation, so I try to plan ahead a little bit, and I bought aisle seats so that I could kind of like kick my legs to the left and kind of lean my body out over the arm rail to the left. So I spent the entire show with the left arm rail jabbed into my left abdominal muscle.
I'm sorry about that.
And then I put my right foot underneath the chair in front of me, so the people below, like in front of us, didn't know that my foot was underneath their father. But
or they did know.
Comfortability aside, the show was entertaining. Like there was one opener, then there was Chris Rock. Like Chris Rock was on for probably about an hour and a half. We estimated because that's the thing, they lock your phones in those pouches where you can't access them during the show.
The yonder bag.
Yeah, so you kind of lose like sense of time. But we got in there around the time the show was about to start. Anyway, we weren't waiting very long, which was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was like going through the line. It was very, very hot. I was just lucky. Like once we got inside of the actual theater, there was AC in there because like in between that that 6-minute wait in between like us getting into the door, us getting wanded, tickets being checked, and the confusion of people arguing about Yeah, this a Fitbit. It's not a smartwatch. You know, because people don't want to put nothing in the bag. They don't want to,
They make you put your watches in the bag.
if you
You
got a
can't have a
smartwatch, yeah,
smartwatch.
because it can record.
It cannot. I guess it can record audio. So
Yeah,
yeah. I can't record nothing else, but I hear you.
you can make a bootleg like rerun in the Doobie Brothers.
Oh my god.
So yeah, and it was like this guy that was like behind us was really putting up some shit like this is a Fitbit that doesn't do anything. And he had one like that basic ass Fitbit that only like lights up blue.
Yeah.
It did do nothing, but I guess it's a quote. It was a smartwatch, and then like was like, just put it in the bag, man. I don't get paid enough for this shit. Just
A lot of those
He
people
was
are
he was
volunteers.
he was close to hitting that step goal, and he would and just really want to keep it on him. Poor guy.
like it tell me if I make 90 more steps in this 2 hour period, I'm good. But yeah, it was that part was new. I've never been to a venue that made you put your stuff in the yonder bag before. Like I've always heard about it, but this is my first time experiencing it. It wasn't too terrible.
Yeah.
And then like Lunt said, it was a opener. I forgot his first name, but the last name was Ingram.
I don't
And
remember his name at all.
okay. I think it might have been Brian Ingram. I'm not 100% sure. But
I remember him saying that his name was not Dane Cook.
Yeah, yeah. He was joking about being Dane Cook when somebody look him up later. Um, he did like 100% crowd work. Like he said his name, and then it's like, "Hey, you fuckers!"
If
right
you
in
were
front of
in
me.
like the first like 3 or 4 rows, he got to you.
Yeah, and he seemed to be doing a pretty good job at that. He was definitely a white D.L. Hughley from County View type back in the day. Doing crowd work. Oh, you guys are together. Oh, who are you? And who's this? And I thought that part it was funny and he seemed good at it, but at the same time, that's not my like real brand of comedy. Like
Yeah.
somebody doing crowd work is like, I'm glad you're able to do that well, but tell me a joke, motherfucker.
Yeah, usually I hate crowd work because like it feels lazy. I know it
Yeah.
takes talent in order to do it, but I prefer people that like take the time to come up with a set that kind of has like intricacies to it and some thought. Crowd work is just like go out there and fuck with people for 10, 15 minutes until the other guy's ready.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that was one time. That's why I did not like when I saw Latasha Najero or whatever. Like my one buddy wanted to see her, and I was like, "Fuck it, I love comedy, I'll go." And
Yeah.
I ended up hating her show because it was like all crowd work. I don't want to go see crowd work. I want to go see a story.
Man, I was watching her on Fast Foodies the other day. Man, she lightweight thick.
Are we
That's,
talking about the same person? Because
Mm-hmm.
the person I'm talking about was a tiny little like Italian woman.
I think she's
Man,
Jewish.
Yeah.
But
She's Jewish.
She's
Yeah,
married to Moshe Kasher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I cannot for the life of me find out who his opener is because they just do not have it listed anywhere.
Oh well,
Aren't you?
she's definitely in the slim thick category. But we can go move on. But yeah, he did crowd work. Said some. He was kind of not necessarily edgy with it, but like this one joke. He was like, it was some Indian gentlemen, and I'm not going to say gentlemen because I just know they were of Indian descent. And he was like, "Which one of you guys are the engineer?" And then the crowd was like, "Boo!" And then the guy was like, "Me, I'm the engineer." He's like, "See, you guys are the fucked up ones, not me." And then he talked about the clip. He was like talking about. He's like, "You guys should call yourself the Guardians from now on. Take it back. I'm a Guardian." But yeah, like
was
I
it
said,
Ian Edwards?
it might be.
Because he said he was on that new Bill Burr show, the one that's on Netflix with like all the different comedians on it.
Yeah.
And I'm on the website right now, and it says Bill Burr, Michelle Wolf, Jimmy Carr, Steph Tolev, Jeff Ross, David Tell, Ian Edwards, Jessica Curson, Josh Adam Myers, and Ronnie Ching are on that show. And I know who a lot of those people are.
So it
So
got
I'm
to be
pretty
the one
sure his
dude.
name was Ian Edwards. Yeah.
Yep, that got to be him. But like I said, it was
A black British guy?
no.
No, it was a white guy.
Well, Ian Edwards is a black British guy.
Okay, so that's not Ian. Okay, well, shit.
I was like, oh, sweet. Y'all had a black British comedian? That sounds like a good time.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
Well, now it's gonna bother me because he definitely said he was on that show. He's like, yeah, I was on. You may know me from this. And I'm like, well, I've only watched one episode and you weren't on it, so I don't. Maybe it's only giving me part of the cast or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I was a little bummed after because honestly, I didn't eat dinner before we went, and we tried to go.
Rick Ingram.
Rick Ingram. Okay. So it was something with an E. We tried to go find food after, and like at that point, there's like hardly anything open down there. So I ended up coming home and I made a peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, the saddest.
Yeah,
I could have stopped at Sheets, but the Sheets drive-through had like 7 cars in it. I was like, and the parking lot was full. So I was like, I don't want the hassle. I'll just go home and make a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, Rick Ingram currently on tour with Chris Rock. My album American Bully is out on various platforms. So there you go.
Yeah, I end up driving to the Get Go in Menor because I believe that Get Go has the most perfect fast food French fry. Every time I've ever gone there, they taste the same. Like that timer, they stick by that timer, and they always seem to be pretty good. Now, one thing I do need to work on when it comes to Get Go is not only getting the buffalo loaded chicken sandwich. Like I wish it was another sandwich I liked from there. Because I've tried the other ones and they aren't good.
The show itself, for me, now like I said, I hate crowd work, but I did enjoy that guy's crowd work. But at times I also didn't. And part of it was because like comedians lately, and I understand their reasoning behind it, but it seems like all of them want to bitch about people bitching about their work.
Yeah.
And so like I understand people want to be heard and they've all got their own views of it and everything. But like I'm just kind of tired of hearing about it from them, and I'm tired of hearing about it from everybody else. Because like if you don't like what they say, then just don't fucking watch them. Not everyone agrees with everything you think. I don't agree with people who are on this show with me, and they're some of my best friends on some of the most important issues in the world. But I can still like keep my mouth shut and not tell them that I think they're wrong, or like that or pound my chest and say I'm right. I have the ability to just be like, okay, and move on. Like I don't have to go to the internet and be like, this person did this, and I think that they're ruining the world. And then them go on stage and like, man, you all can't take a joke. I'm not ruining the world. You're ruining the world. And it's like, it's every fucking show now. This is going on and on and on and on. And then I've noticed too, it's become the battle of the what do you call it? Like it's boomers versus millennials versus Gen Zs. And that's what it's all that too. They constantly bring it up every show.
Yeah, he did talk about that a lot. And like I don't want to sound dumb, but I don't even know what the fuck I am. I guess I don't know if I'm Generation X or what I am, because I really don't care.
I don't care for myself either, but I'm pretty sure I fall into millennial.
Okay.
Which, like, with our ages, you're probably in that same range too.
Researchers in popular media use the mid to late 60s as starting birth years and the late 70s to early 80s as ending birth years, within the generation being generally defined as people born from 65 to 80. By this definition, there are 62.5 million Gen Xers in the United States as of 2019. Therefore, you are an elder millennial.
So I just made it
Yeah.
because I was born in 81.
Yep. So you
You're the
crossed over.
OG.
You are the start of the millennials.
Okay.
How does it feel to be an original?
I don't know. I mean, they don't even make sinks to pick up my black hand, so I don't know if I really count for none of that shit.
Mm. Well, he was out there for what would you say? Maybe like 15 minutes.
I would say like 15 to 20. That shit did start to drag on when it got towards the end. So, um,
So he didn't have no prepared bits. It was all just, all crowd work. Really?
I think like he had an idea of how he wanted to attack the crowd,
Yeah.
and that was it. That was his story. Was how he was going to attack the crowd. One
I
thing he
mean,
did do that I thought was funny was there was a group of Indian guys up in the front, and he like profiled them as like one as an engineer, which ended up being true, but he also
Yeah.
called them guardians.
Yeah. You were saying that, and like, why?
it was fun. Like, yeah, I mentioned it. Yeah, that it was. We can't really. Oops. I don't think we could really give how he's a comedian. We can't really flush out the lines like he said. It was one of the few jokes he built up to. Like I said, he was out there for like 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. And he did mostly crowd work, but I kind of feel like he skillfully did it, throwing in some jokes here, you know. Um, like Dan said, calling out millennials, calling out Gen Z, Gen X. He did a good job at that, but yeah, just not my type of comedy.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I
I
hey,
think it's just like when somebody tells. I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't believe in spoilers. Like, just for me, you can
yeah.
tell me like he said this joke. But then, like he also was up there for 25 other minutes, so like rounding everything out. Then this is one I've been to many comedy shows, and this one ran really smoothly. Like lights went down, we sat down. We sat down for maybe 2 minutes. They brought out the opening act. He told his jokes. Oh, okay, you guys ready for Chris Rock? All right. Lights go down. Waited maybe 2 minutes. Not even long. Chris Rock came out, started telling jokes right away. Before I started anything, I wanted to let you know I'm all right. That was his statement.
Yeah.
So he addressed, the Will Smith thing like right away. Um, didn't really like talk about it too heavy, but he did like address it because I mean, I guess it needs to be addressed. Um, I mean, I don't know how I would have felt if he didn't, but I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm glad he got it out of the way so he could, go back to his regular life, I suppose.
Yeah. So
Um,
just yeah. It's like plus he had before that smack, whatever. He clearly had a show prepared to do. You know what I'm saying? He had written and
yeah,
worked on these jokes probably for X amount of time, so and so on. Like that could be his next special. But right now, he has the bits he's worked on for this production, and that's what's going down.
yeah, like
So
right when he started, he took about 5 or 6 minutes to talk about things that were current in the news. And I mean, as any good comedian, I'm sure, because he is like one of the best out there right now. Like he did
yeah,
talk about current events, like hey, this going on in Russia, guys, gas prices. Like he did, get the current events out of the way because, like, pretty much he's talking to us. And like just like when you talking to anybody, you talk about like what's going on. Like, of course, like hey Cleveland, and if it was like something fucked up in Cleveland going on at the time, they usually mention it real quick. But like, I don't know how many shows I've been to. Like, man, it's cold as fuck here, or whatever have you. It's
Yeah.
always like you talk about the weather. You talk about like, man, how many of y'all been to the to this such and such place, man? Like I know when I listened to WTF with Mark Maron. Every time he came here, he talked about going to the Greenhouse Cafe.
Yeah.
And I remember like when the Greenhouse Cafe closed, I'm like, I wonder if Mark Maron gonna talk about it. And finally, when he came back, he was like, "Man, they closed the Greenhouse Cafe. I don't know where I was gonna go." So I mean, it's always cool to like when you know little love letters to the place you from. Like my kids were playing Avengers Lego Avengers.
Yeah.
Um, that like it's a fight scene that's definitely downtown Cleveland, like right in front of the
Oh
tower.
yeah. Because it's from because that's where they filmed it. So they probably just based on a movie, right?
Yeah, and
Random.
this Lego, I was like, man, that's kind of dope. I was like, that's Cleveland, y'all. It was like, we don't care. Go sit down.
Oh my god.
So, he talked mostly talked about what was going on in his life. Talked about dating. Of course, like his marriage that's dissolved. Um, he was talking about in a roundabout kind of weird way. I guess he addressed it a little bit in his comedy without addressing the Will Smith situation in his comedy, talking about like not about him growing up in Brooklyn and like the different struggles he went through there, and talking about how words really don't truly affect you, but getting hit will. So he also talked about like a situation he had with his daughter and how she was kind of being reckless a little bit like in her life, and she did something that she shouldn't have, and his ex-wife was like, no, let's kind of bail her out, and he was like, I don't think we should. And then he ended up going behind everybody's back and letting her deal with the consequences and not like using like his strength to end the situation.
Yeah.
And he said after that it straightened her out, and she's doing better now.
Good.
So
Good.
and I got to say that without spoiling what happened, without spoiling the joke.
There you go. That's what's up. So there you go, Chris Rock. We ain't spoil your jokes, homie.
Yeah, I appreciate Dan picking me to go out with him. Like Dan said, it was I felt like I didn't feel bad, but like I'm not a small guy. And I was in the middle of the lady Dan that Dan spoke of, and Dan, and luckily it wasn't like super murderously hot in there, because
Yeah.
I would have been I'd have been sticky for sure. But I
It
don't
just would
like.
have been that would have made it what would have been made it uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I didn't want to like make the lady feel bad. I told her, I was like, I'm fine. Like that, and she was like, it's the EC. So I'm like, this theater is old.
Yeah. Which one of the what is it, like 4 or 5 theaters down there? Which one was y'all in?
Let me see. It was
It's like the Allen, the Ohio, the whatever.
it was at the Connor Palace Theater,
Okay. Okay.
which I think everybody I've seen, I think I've seen Chappelle there, and I've seen Hannibal Buress there. So
Nice. Maybe that's the one they use for stand up. That's their stand up particular theater.
and I think I seen Mike Epps there too.
Nice. Day. Well, I mean, hey, you saw Chris Rock. It's a good time. Box has disappeared. I hope everything's okay. If he don't had to get up and go that long, then it must be addressed. It must be taken care of. So we allow him to do it. I'm watching this on YouTube because I have to make sure we're streaming well. And one, it hiccups in a way that I'm like, what is going on YouTube? But also just had Box sitting there like this, looking. I'm going to take a picture of it because it looks so cool. He looks so regal. Call this Regal Dan. Oh, what's this? Oh, it just says I'm live. I know I'm live, YouTube. I'm the one who put us live. I'm gonna send it to you. I can send it to the group. No worries.
So yeah, you had asked me about my Father's Day earlier, which is today,
Yeah.
and so what did I did something? Did I? Okay, so one of my friends who we recorded the episode for um like a year back. My friend Chris who moved down south. He was in Cleveland,
Yeah.
so like we always meet at the Wink and Lizard, and it was me and it was pretty much everybody he invited. But every time, like we've over the years have done this um shit for years, and we always meet at Wink and Lizard. And the one thing all the guys always order are the Wink and Lizard um potato skins.
Okay.
So um the factory had burned down that where these potato skins are made from Wink and Lizard.
That's the saddest shit ever.
Yeah, and like it was a major point in the conversation. Like, man, I'm sorry about the potato skins. Like Chris is like, oh yeah, I read about that because of course he keeps up with Cleveland news because that's just the kind of guy he is. And
Yeah.
it was just like it was a big thing that last night about the Wink and Lizard. They don't have any more potato skins. So like I was I don't think I didn't. So like I got home around 12, got some sleep, and then I woke up like at 5 in the morning. Usually I would probably just like go back to sleep. I was like, it's Father's Day. I should go do something that I would like to do. And it's this place called the Cleveland Bagel Shop. I
Okay.
know
Over on like the west side.
it's one on the west side. It's one
Okay.
on Detroit, and then it's another one like by not far from the Cleveland Clinic
Okay.
on 75th and Carnegie. So I went there this morning, and the area I think is they're naming it Midtown or Little
Okay.
Midtown,
Okay.
and like they're building up around there, and I went in the shop. It's a little small shop, little hipsterish. Um, I got some everything bagels and a couple plain bagels. Came back home. Most of my family was still asleep. My oldest son wasn't. I asked him, I was like, "Do you want? I got some fresh bagels. You want one?" He was like, "No, I don't want one." Then he see me cooking it. He's like, "Can I have one?" I was like, "Man, your breakfast is already done. You're not gonna eat a waffle and sausage and potatoes and a bagel. You're not gonna do it." And he was like, "Okay, can I have one at lunch?" I told him, "Yeah." And then when lunch came around, he's like, "Can I have a chili dog?" I said, yeah, you have a chili dog. And then he damn near cussed me out tonight after dinner. He was like, "You said I could have a bagel." I was like, "I asked you what you wanted. No time have you said you wanted a bagel." So tomorrow morning he'll have his bagel because I don't want to be on his bad side.
Yeah. Put some respect on the bagel's name.
You know what? Ever since I think it was like it was definitely most likely last year. But I got up one morning after dropping him off at school, and I had a bagel from Buglers. Well, like I got some everything bagels, and I never forget that I was like, you want some fresh ones?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
Man, it's like chasing that first heroin hit because I've never had bagels be that good again. And like my partner had like even mentioned it today. It was like those were the best bagels like I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like the outside was crispy, like crispy and nice, and the inside was like fluffy and airy and warm.
With a good chew to it and so forth.
Yeah, it was
Fuck with it.
like um
I wonder if I got to like Giant Eagle early enough in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Could I get them kind of fresh?
yeah, but you live by Einstein's though.
Oh yeah, and it's right across the street from a Panera. Like literally, they're across the street from one another.
Yeah,
Which is weird because now they own by each other.
But
So I
Panera,
wonder who's making the product. You know?
I don't know them. I don't think Panera's bagels hit like that. Like when you get like an Asiago, like they've really got flatter over the years.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe
Man,
she
Einstein
get
do
you
got that.
around 6.
Einstein do got that hidden turkey sausage jaunt they do, and I get it on the jalapeno cheddar. I used to get it on,
Oh,
and it
jalapeno
was
cheddar.
the hitter.
Yeah, I used to love Abu Pan's jalapeno cheddar bagels.
Oh my god! Apple pan, Lamo juice. So, we kind of wrapped up Chris Rock, but just in case you want to sprinkle any more Chris Rock into the building box, I definitely don't want to leave you out here on the stroll. But like I said,
yeah. So, let me get my thoughts back here.
hold up.
Take your time.
It was an it was a good show, but like, I feel like I've been to better.
Okay,
But it was still like cool to say that I went and saw Chris Rock at least once.
for sure. Adams to the list of comedians you've gone to see. What do you think about? Have you been to that particular theater? Anthony was just saying how he thinks he's seen multiple comedians in that particular theater before, and so maybe that's the theater for comedy in Cleveland, like when they do theater style shows as opposed to the clubs we have here.
I've been in there a handful of times. I was in their smaller theater when I saw Nick Kroll.
Okay,
like the tiniest one they have.
Okay,
but I've definitely been in that Connor theater. Like, pretty sure that's the one I saw Dave Chappelle in.
Okay. So, just in general, is that like I don't know.
I've seen Amy Schumer in there. I've seen Louis Black in there. I've seen Hannibal Buress in there. I've seen Jim Jeffries in there. Now I've seen Chris Rock in there. So yeah, nice. I would say it's probably their comedy theater.
Excellent, good stuff. I dig that. For a certain level of comedian, that's the spot they call home, and it seems to be set up in Mike Well and
Nick Kroll got the practice court. Deservedly so. He wasn't good, just like Amy Schumer wasn't good.
I was more thinking that Nick Kroll. I don't ever think of Nick Kroll as a stand-up comic. I think of him as a storyteller.
That's the problem. Is he tried to be a stand-up comic, and he's the fucking comedic, quirky character on a sitcom or a writer. He's not interesting enough, at least at the time from when he did it, because I think we were early on in his tour, and maybe he would have it more dialed in near the end. But like when I told Anthony about him, we were like going into the Chris Rock show. Nick Kroll came across as a guy who was like having a hard time getting over an ex, and he tried to do a stand-up routine about it, and it just came across as sad and desperate.
Oh, just a man bitter about his lot in life at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we hope Nick Kroll has tightened up. We'll go with that. Oh my gosh. But in general, you know what I'm saying, you got to go see Chris Rock. That's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
So
he's like a fucking comedic icon.
Yeah.
So it was. It's always interesting for me to see people who are masters at their craft work.
Yeah. I was watching what movie that I watched a movie of his recently on HBO Max, and it does this movie. In the movie, he's a radio DJ, and he's married to, or at least involved with, this French lady. And I can't think of the name of that movie to save my life. But it was just such a unique and interesting movie that I was just like, oh yeah, Chris Rock actually also has some acting chops. Now, yeah, we see him hanging around Sandler doing when they get together and they do, basically movies that they're really just an excuse for them to hang out.
Yeah,
but
when I hear his voice, I mean, I know obviously he voiced this character, but when I hear his voice, my mind immediately goes to the guinea pig from Doctor Dolittle. And one of the movies that he's done that I used to watch a lot when it was on TV back in the day, was Down to Earth.
Oh,
Yeah, that's another good one. But I was just thinking about like the weirdo, not weirdo, but those more unique, like Death at a Funeral, where his
him and Martin.
yeah, and Tyrion Lannister.
I want to see him in that new the Saw movie he did last year.
That was good.
Oh yeah.
Because I like those movies, so like I've been wanting to see that. And then I know like he was in Fargo. I don't watch that show, but that seems kind of more of a dramatic role.
It was a good one.
I like I said, I find it interesting that he's yes, a comedic genius. We know him for years of that, but also just I think an overall unique talent. A uniquely talented and gifted kind of dude, and I fuck with that.
Yeah, this the way he was talking, it seems like it's gonna what the material that he was doing was gonna be what's basically his next Netflix special.
Okay.
And like you can see a progression in his material from when you're back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, where it was like a lot of like relationship race stuff, and the race stuff's always going to be there. I feel like black comedians are going to have a hard time getting away from that because that's predominantly a societal thing that we haven't been able to shake for hundreds of years. But he sprinkles that in, obviously. But it felt like in the early, the late 90s, early 2000s, it was like race and family. I mean, like relationship stuff. Then, like a couple of years ago, it was kind of like more about growing up and redemption and, admitting truths. And then this one was more about his family, like his daughters.
Okay.
And like what it's like being a single man, like, later in life. Yeah.
All right. Respect it. I dig that, and like I said, that actually is a good segue, I guess, into T's situation. Had my kid's graduation party this past Friday. Went to Chuck E. Cheese, had a graduation party for an 18-year-old, and some people are going to be like, "That's dumb," or some people are going to be like, "That's amazing." Guess what? Team Amazing, you are 100% correct. It was just a good time. Everybody came through who I expected to come through. Actually, a couple people didn't come through, and I was like, I wonder what happened with them. And they didn't call me or message me sent, so they just didn't come through. But my kid had his friends through. His aunt came through. His cousin came through. His aunts came through. You know what I'm saying? Everybody came through, including these guys right here. And it was just great. It was so fun. The pizza, Chuck E. Cheese pizza, not awful. Not bad at all. If I say not awful, I feel like that takes away from it. But a decent slice. I'm saying we had cheese, and I got one pep, and I'm glad I got a pep because Aunt's boys was like, "Let me get on this pep over here, man." I'm like, I'm glad I bought it, kids, because there it is.
That's not something they like. Usually when we get pizza, we'll get cheese pizza.
Yeah.
We'll do like except if we do BOGO, but usually we'll get one fancy for the adults, one plain cheese for the kids.
Yeah.
And Spud is a very like he'll eat lots of different things. Emery, I want cheese pizza, I want macaroni and cheese, maybe a hot dog. I'm not I was like I'm not even gonna fuck with French fries today. Like he's definitely like he's a very picky eater. So I was surprised they wanted pepperoni pizza.
I laughed when we were all sitting there eating, and he was like saying, "Hey, hello," and he like was waving, but it was in my direction, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "I wasn't waving at you," and he was like apparently waving at some kid behind me. I was like, "Damn, the disrespect."
Well, I think they both they like they see you like when like they'll come down his stairs and sneak on that, or if I'm talking to you on the phone, or if I say like I'm texting, like they know you through Venom a lot. They know who, like it seems like not that you have like legendary status, but like I talk about you enough where they're like, oh yeah, we know Dan already.
Yeah, like I don't say this lightly. Anthony's kids make me feel loved.
Oh wow.
Like they like when I show up, like, and even if I haven't seen them in a long time, they're like they seem genuinely happy and excited to see me.
Yeah, fuck with it. My youngest child was thoroughly impressed by your children. Anthony was like, they're so sweet and they're so nice, and I don't and like I don't even know Emery like that, but like he's just such. I'm like I know
yeah,
he's the youngest one, so you don't really know him like that. So
yeah,
and
Emery
he,
gave Lee like a hug like 5 times.
yeah,
She-
yeah,
and well, he didn't go around hugging everybody, which
yeah,
I guess made it more special because like I was like, well, we gotta go say hi to definitely gotta say hi to Xander and Lee and T, and then so he gave Xander a hug, and then it was like congratulations. They gave him fist bumps and stuff, and then like Emery ran right to Lee, gave them a hug, and then gave them another hug, and it was like it was just a nice moment. And Emery's not like really like that either.
yeah. Well, they had a very I don't know again whatever it was it spoke to the kid. So I guess it spoke to both the kids. That all works out, don't it?
Yeah,
So I don't have the best relationship with my former mother in law, my kid's grandma, but even she was like, "Thank you so much. It was so much fun. Thanks for having me." And I'm like, I was taken aback. Like, what do you mean? I wouldn't go invite you. You're the kid's grandma. You my folk. But I don't know. She seemed really affected by it, and in a way that made me go, okay, well, maybe after 18 years, more than that, after good lord, a very long time. Maybe I fucking have broken through on that particular person, and I don't know. I fuck with that in a way that's really dope.
Someone
But
had
if I,
sometimes
followed us out to the car, and I
yeah
don't know who they were. That was her.
that was her. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, 'cause, like I didn't know who she was,
yeah,
and like she was like tagging along and talking to us like we all knew each other, and I'm like,
man,
she was
Well,
like being like overly nice, you know?
well,
you have certainly met her multiple times at this
yeah,
point.
and like I don't think
Me?
she
You have because you've been to
yeah.
many events with the kids, and she's at every
She's
one.
been at every one of them. Like I know she probably knows my face. I don't. She might know my name, but
Yeah,
like I've 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 been around her for or I've seen her over the years, and I don't know. I kind of feel like sometimes people are surprised, like when they negative energy isn't the right word, but kind of
yeah,
have like I'm gonna say weird energy towards you,
okay,
but you never give that weird energy back.
yeah,
Sometimes along the way it might like it might get to the point where it's like, oh yeah, maybe I'm the one that's been fucking up all this time because you've been steadfast and they've had to grow.
yeah. Mayhaps, mayhaps. Tammy was like, "Oh my god, I forgot Anthony's name." I'm like, "Well, it's been like a couple of years of pandemic. You are good. You are okay to have messed it up." But I love him. I know you love him. I know he knows you love him. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's
I
just been a
run
little
up.
bit,
Yeah, I run right up to her. I was like, "Hey, Aunt Tammy." Then
yeah. So
she's always
she
been
felt
very nice.
yeah, she felt a little off about that, but I tried to send her the love I know you would have sent her, being like, it's cool, baby. It's
Yeah.
been a pandemic. We all get a
Oh
walk.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a couple of things that happened there at the party, and that's going to lead to another part of this, is that uh, Lee got some real FaceTime with her mom's sister. And some FaceTime in a way that truly I feel like might have changed Lee's whole life. And she's like, I really like Aunt Marty, and I like how they was talking and so forth and so on. And what it is about my kid's mom's sister, my kid's mom, and I mean I know it's family business, but I'm gonna put it out there because it's my business to share. My kid's mom didn't know she had a sister until she was well and true, like a teenager. she was surprised by this information. It was brought to her attention that your father had another kid, and now yes, you who have thought you were this elder sibling this whole time, it turns out no, you have an older sister, and her sister was always who herself had siblings, so what I'm saying, knows that life and know what it is to have siblings, was always trying to be a sister to the kid's mom, and the kid's mom was like, I can't really roll with that. I don't really know you like that. We ain't come up together, and I don't really want you as a sister. Maybe we can be homies, but we can never be siblings. And that's what Marty wanted out of that relationship, and they could never, and it just never worked out. And I explained that to Lee after we had gotten home, and I was like, if you want to have a relationship with her, that's cool. That's your aunt, and maybe it could be the relationship your mom never got to make happen with them. And I thought that was dope. So then we flip it the other way. Marty's kid loves me, and that's because we have a vibe. We usually talk video games and stuff like that. But he came through with this book, and it's all cars that he's drawn. Full of it. Everything he's on is cars. And as I go through the book with him and I'm explaining, like, oh yeah, I know that one. I'm like, oh, that's dope. What is that when he explains it to me? I'm saying, y'all, of course, know that's exactly my son. My son loves cars. Xander is a fucking car nut. And I get to a page and I'm like, yo, your cousin had this car. It was a Volvo that he had drew a picture of. It was a V80 race model. But I was like, I gotta find your cousin right now. So basically I just called Xander and was like, come here, man. You got to see this. I call him over, and Xander gets the book and takes his cousin. They just sit at one of the little booths that was across from us, and they start going through it. It's like, oh, and they start just ciphering. You know what I'm saying? And then Xander's boys start floating over like, what's this? Oh, shit, because they like cars too. Xander's lady liked cars. You know what I'm saying? So she comes over, and they start like all ciphering. And then all of a sudden, his cousin, who I think probably feels a bit like the outsider amongst his peers, realizes he has found his tribe. And I fuck with that. I went so up for that. I was like, yeah, yo, as it turns out, y'all all got oil in your blood. And I told him, I want you to know, man, you got people. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes it may not feel like you do, but you got people. And I got, like you can see, it's a whole bunch of them right here who get down with what you get down with. And so you're not alone in that. And that's okay. And I felt like you could see him kind of beaming. Like he's like, I am not alone in this. And his mom kind of even said as much to me. It was like, yo, that's really dope. That, you know what I'm saying? That I'm like, yeah, they all love cars. It's not really anything I did. It's just in them. Oddly enough, we all know now. We can probably, if you want to pinpoint it, hereditarily, it's probably your old man who was never a father to any of y'all. But whatever. He seems to be the key ingredient on these situations. But I thought it was pretty swell that both my kid got to find their aunt and her kid got to find their cousins and recognize and realize that, yeah, we got some vibes here that can mean something. So I like that. Now, here's where I'm gonna link that up here to today being Father's Day. I don't really do Father's Day. I feel super guilty about it because my kids don't have a mom and thusly can't celebrate Mother's Day. And I never want to I'll just leave that shit be. You know what I'm saying? I really don't do Father's Day.
Survivor's remorse.
It is in a sense, survivor's guilt. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. But people always hit me up and on Father's Day, and they hit me with these platitudes of like, you're so special because you're out here doing this and you're doing it on your own and then blah blah blah. And I'm like, yo, that's wildly disrespectful to my lady and my partner who has been here every day since it happened. You feel me? I'm not alone in this. I have a partner who made that Chuck E. Cheese reservation. You know what I'm saying? So that party happened because my partner made that shit happen, and so forth. They always on my side and always on my team, and they always are right there with me. And it's like I'm like, don't take from them trying to celebrate me as if I've done anything without them by my side. You feel me? And I get it. People are just trying to show love, and I'm just like, it's dope that you would show me love, but I'm not out here doing this on the stroll. It takes a village. And I said, and I told my kids that this morning. I'm like, yo, it takes a motherfucking village. And so, yes, Vanessa's here, but I'm saying my homeboys have been on my side. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, I'm saying, and it's like, I'm like, all of us have been here. It ain't just me. It has never been just me, and it can never just be just me. And so I don't know. I'm not hurt by anything I got there, but I just was like, yo, man, don't not take credit. Don't take credit from her because you like maybe because I'm not married to her or whatever. Maybe they look at it like that. Like, well, she could go in any moment. Like, but really, bro, we've been dating. You know what I'm saying? Our first date was 10 years ago. Come August, we've been together for a very long time. This is not just somebody who's going somewhere. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of my life and a part of my children's lives. And I always just want to sprinkle a little respect on that, man. And so I found that to be an interesting thing that I was kind of swirling around in my brain today.
Yeah.
So eventually I just forced my children. I was like, you know what, man? I never played this card, but today I'm going to play this card. It's Father's Day. Let's go to the lake. I'm making y'all walk with me. I've been exercising. I've been on my trying to get at least my 30 minutes of exercise in every day. And so I forced them to come and walk around me at the lake, and that was a delight. So I did get a little Father's Day type of action in. The lake was popping. People doing Father's Day, people doing Juneteenth stuff. It was kind of, I was like, okay, I see you. And I had talked myself out of it. I said I was going to just do the bottom loop because doing from the top up all the way down and back around again kicked my ass last week. But I was like, I don't care, man. I'm gonna do it again because it's good exercise and I need it. And so we did the whole big loop again, and it was a good time. So that was only really Father's Day-esque type stuff I got down with today. I mostly did Juneteenth stuff. I made a point to just eat good and celebrate and talk to my kids about the holiday and try to post a couple of things about Juneteenth and so forth and discuss it here on the show that I do every week with you, the listener, and these my homeboys. So that's been crackling over here. I know. Oh, sir, it worked out. I saw that and then chuckled myself. So I was like, that was some soothsaying. It's always what we do. We always ahead of this shit, even we don't mean to be. But that is what's been percolating and populating with our worlds. You know what I'm saying? And whilst that is the thing, let me jump on over to Reddit so we can get some amateur assholes and pack it up and get on out of here. First one, guess what? It happened already. You won't hear it right now. My people who are watching the show live, if you are watching the show live or watch this video later, you'll not get this one unless you listen to the edited version of the show. And that is, am I the asshole for giving my friend first aid on a sensitive area? Am I the asshole for giving my friend first aid on a sensitive area? This happened the other day. I, 23 male, was at a pool party at my best friend Greg's house. There was also a slip and slide set up and people were using it. My friend Amy used it and screamed. The whole party turns to her and she's clutching her breast and there's blood just pouring out of her hand. She had slid over a rock and cut herself.
Man, that's going to be a swollen titty.
I'm in nursing school, so I run over to her and ask to see the cut. She pulls her hand away, and I see that it doesn't look too serious, but it definitely needs attention. I turn to Greg and ask if he has a first aid kit, and he says yes, in the bathroom inside the house. So I walk Amy into the house and grab the first aid kit, and I pause for a second and ask her if she's okay with me helping her with this, or if she wants to do it herself because of where the cut is. And she says, no, I trust you, and I want your help. So we go into the bathroom and wash out the cut. I look at it more closely to make sure it isn't serious. I put some Neosporin on it, bandage it up nicely. Amy thanks me, and we go back outside. A couple of women come up to Amy and ask if she's okay, and one of them, Sarah, gives me a dirty look. They kind of lead her away. I go back to where I was sitting, and Greg sits next to me and says, some people were talking shit out here. I did my best to defend you, but I figured you should know that they were talking shit about you helping Amy. I asked him what he meant, and he said that Sarah was saying it was creepy how I sprung into action when I saw an opportunity to play with a boob. And a few of the other women and one other guy agreed and were making fun of me. I was pretty upset about that, but I didn't want to make a scene, so I just ignored it for the time being. Later that day, I was sitting by the fire pit, and Sarah was sitting across from me, and nobody else was around the area, so I asked her why she was making fun of me for helping Amy. She said, I guess that was a little mean of me. I'm sorry that I did that. But I just thought it was kind of weird how you saw her boob and was hurt and you ran up to her and insisted to help. I know you're in nursing school, but I think you should have just let a girl handle it. We all know first aid too. I thanked her for her apology, And I don't like confrontation, so I said, all right, I guess I'll keep that in mind from now on. There are a couple of edits here. Edit. I stepped away to go to work and this post blew up. Thank you for all your judgments. I think I did the right thing by helping her in this situation, and Sarah was really kind of a bitch here. Also, I realized that Amy might not know that they were talking shit about me, so I'm going to call or text her to inform her about all of this. Edit 2. Update. I called Amy and asked how the cut was healing. She said it was healing well and she was keeping an eye on it. Then I asked her if she knew about the things Sarah and the others said about me and what Sarah said at the fire pit. Amy had no idea. She said the other women were asking her if she was okay and what happened and all that, but she assumed they were worried about the injury, not my helping her. And Amy was absolutely pissed and went to the friend group chat and tore the people that were shit talking a new asshole, especially Sarah. Sarah and the others apologized to me in the group chat, but Amy kept going and said I shouldn't accept their apologies because they sat back and talked shit on the one person who stepped up and helped her. Amy asked Greg not to invite Sarah to the next pool party, and Greg readily agreed. A few of the others tried to say that was too far, but Amy just told them shut the fuck up and do something next time someone's hurt instead of sitting on their ass and insulting me.
Damn, respect.
Put some respect on his name. No, you're not an asshole. I don't believe you think you were an asshole, but I can understand why a woman would check in. It's a sensitive matter, it's a sensitive area, and when you find out lots of people are like talking crazy about you, maybe that could make you give you pause for thought
about it.
Yeah.
Like, I know this guy's like in school, but like, wouldn't this fall under like the oath that they take to like have to help people if they're in like something happens?
I think the oath is just for doctors. I don't know if nurses have an oath, and nurses probably do have an oath.
All right. Well, see, like my one buddy that I used to hang out with was an X-ray tech. I don't know if he was an official doctor. I know he was an X-ray tech.
Yeah.
And when we were driving to a Magic the Gathering tournament one time, a car flipped on the highway on the other side. Like I literally saw the car go up in the air and land on the roof. Yeah. And as we were driving by, he goes, I'm required to stop, right? And I went, what do you mean? And he goes, I took an oath. And then an ambulance was coming up on the other side to go to the site. He goes, okay, if the ambulance is going, we're fine to continue. But if that ambulance wasn't coming, he was literally telling me that I had to pull a Yui on the freeway to go take him to the site because of the oath he took. And he was just an X-ray tech.
So we got to assume nurses take something in that vein as well, right? That's just got to be what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe he had a higher doctorate of sorts or something, but as far as I know, he was just an X-ray tech.
And if we're wrong, listeners, let us know, you know what I'm saying? But, were we not in the midst of the show, I could probably reach out to my little sister-in-law and ask her. They do get pinned and stuff and so forth when they graduate. So it might be some things to it. Like I said, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know for sure. But either way, my man saw somebody that was hurt, needed help, made sure they were comfortable with his help. So it's like you're saying he was already clear, you know what I'm saying?
He got enthusiastic consent.
You know how it goes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And did what he was supposed to do and made sure this person injury was taken care of. And no, you're not an asshole. That person who was talking wild records about you, who started talking records about you, he wanted to grab a titty. I mean, titty something is out there to be grabbed? Shut the fuck up. Ugh. You suck, Sarah. Sarah of this, I know too many Sarahs who might think I'm talking grease about them. No, that's the Sarah in this story. Settle down.
How many nice Sarahs do you know?
Shut the fuck up, Anthony. Come on, man. Don't drag in shit like that, man. I don't really see any glow in the dark comments, so I won't bother digging into this so much. For you, the listeners, I will let you know that no one thinks this person is the asshole. In fact, they mark this as not the asshole, and the thread has been locked by moderators. No new comments can be added. So that is what's up.
Bottom line, no titty left behind.
Well said, sir. I mean, right there, then I edited that part in that we recorded already, and it's right there. Boom. Or it shows me on your TikTok some weeks from now. What's going to happen? How you going to get that? But I am going to give you one for the road right quick, because I read this. I have not read this at all. I read the title and was like, that's going down. So McGee, am an asshole for you, the live listeners, and of course my homeboys right here. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my friend a ride home after she told our friend group I fuck zoned her? Now, mind you, I never heard the turn of phrase. I've never heard the turn of phrase "fuck zone." So let's go with this and see what happens here. 26 male, part of a pretty big friend group. We live in a big city, so we like to go to concerts, sporting events, or nights out every weekend. Me and my high school boys, girls, I guess, are the core of the group, with others bringing in work colleagues or SOs. Our high school friend, Jamie, ended up introducing us 5 years ago to Caitlin, 26 female, who was her friend at work. The past 5 years, Caitlin has been a part of our group, also playing on our kickball team. Before people ask, no, I never considered her a friend. We were part of the same group of friends, part of the same friend group. I'm good friends with Jamie, but me and Caitlin weren't close at all. Like, yeah, we talk at bars or during kickball, but nothing beyond surface level. Okay, so me and Caitlin weren't close at all. The past 5 years, Caitlin has been a part of our group. I'm trying to make sure Caitlin is a high school friend of Jamie. Jamie brought in Caitlin. Very good. Okay, I've worked that out now. I always thought Caitlin was good looking and seemed fun. So one night I texted her and asked her out. She basically said she didn't want to mess with the friendship we had or the group dynamics, so it wasn't a good idea. I told her I understood and thought that would be the end of it. The next time we hung out, she was super weird. Like she was all up next to me all night, constantly trying to start conversation. It made me feel awkward, so I sort of stopped hanging with the group for a few weeks to get some space. During this time, she texted me and snapped me a bunch, asking me where I was. I didn't show up to kickball for a 2 weeks. That's what how it's written, for 2 weeks, because I just didn't want to see her and felt embarrassed. A few of my guys decided to just hang with me at my place for a few weekends instead of going out with the larger group. During this time, Caitlin told everyone in the group that I asked her out, and the reason I wasn't coming around was because I fuck zoned her. My girlfriends reached out asking if this was true. I said that I did ask her out, but me and her were literally never close to begin with. This caused a whole bunch of drama with some of my girlfriends giving me tons of shit for it. I told them I just wanted some space and that my guys, not me, were the ones who decided to come hang with me instead of the larger group for a few weeks. But since we are the, quote, fun ones in the group, I guess our lack of attendance was felt. I got over it a few weeks later and last week decided to go to the baseball game. We all meet up, including Jamie and Caitlin, and drank and then watched the game. Then we went bar hopping, and while I stayed sober and was the DD, they went bar, then okay. At the end of the night, I was taking my guys home when Caitlin and Jamie hopped in the car and said they would like a ride home. I thought I was going to get out of my car. I wasn't giving them a ride home. They started arguing and asked why. I said because Caitlin tried to make me look bad in front of the group for no reason, so they could call an Uber. They ended up getting out, but not before calling me an asshole. My guy friends are on my side. The girls in the group think what I did was petty. But I wasn't about to go 20 minutes out of my way to drop off two girls who had been shit-talking me for weeks. The friend group was split. Am I the asshole?
Maybe
I don't really think so.
Be the bigger man, but like that takes a lot of forgiveness that some people just don't have.
Yeah. No, you're not the asshole. You didn't do anything wrong here. Well, you asked the lady out. She said no, and you was like, all right, that's what's up. And then, of course, a week later, she had a week to consider it. It was like trying to purr up next to you, and you're like, hold on, homie. You said well, no, and I thought we know was the answer. And then you made a point to back away and leave that shit be, and they want to talk greasy about you. Nah, you're not the asshole. But unlike the one earlier tonight, there's a big old pink glow-in-the-dark box here. So you know we got to read the comments. Not the asshole, but a lot of miscommunication. Of course, from her perspective, you fuck zoned her. Again, is this a turn of phrase that we're not aware of? Have y'all heard fuck zone before?
This must be one of those new millennial things.
Yeah, like what they have needed to fuck in order to fuck them.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. She wasn't lying.
Like they just wanted to turn friend zone into an edgy thing.
Oh, yeah. She wasn't lying for drama. She was getting support from her friends because the guy she thought was one of her friends suddenly stopped speaking to her right after he asked her out, and she said no. Okay, that is some perspective I hadn't considered. From your perspective,
sounds familiar.
From your perspective, it looks different because you never felt you were close friends with her in the first place. But it looks like she did, or at least wanted to be. So she goes out of her way after turning you down for a date to act like a good friend, to spend time with you, show you that she still likes you as a person. These are all the things someone is supposed to do if they turn down a friend for a date in order to keep the friendship healthy. Okay? It failed. Not because she was doing anything bizarre, but because you were on a different page in the first place. You never really considered her much of a friend and don't seem to have wanted her to be one. That wasn't simply because she turned you down. It was just the way you felt from the beginning. It sounds like so you're not being an asshole either. You're just misinterpreting the situation. But she didn't know that you didn't consider her a friend to begin with. She began trying to save a friendship that didn't exist from being wrecked by the request and rejection, which looked to you like weird behavior because you weren't seeing the baseline relationship as a friendship that needed saving. When you reacted by cutting off contact, she must have figured that her efforts to save the friendship had failed because all you wanted from her was sex. Fuck zone. And it makes so much more sense now. And well, she's not 100% wrong in that while you wanted a date and maybe eventually a relationship instead of just sex, you pretty much clearly did not want friendship with her. She was in the fuck zone in that you didn't want any kind of relationship with her at all if you couldn't have the kind you wanted. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with this. That's why I said not the asshole. She's not being one, but neither are you. You have every right to decide that you only want one type of relationship with somebody, and if they're not interested in that, that's fine. But then you don't choose to have a different okay, that's weirdly written to me. But then you don't choose to have a different kind instead. Okay, I guess it makes sense. Just as friend zoning isn't actually wrong, even though an awful lot of people haven't learned that yet, because nobody's required to date somebody when what they really want is friendship. Fuck zoning isn't wrong because of exactly the same reason. Nobody's required to have a different type of relationship than what they actually want. In fact, nobody had an obligation to have any relationship that they don't want for any reason. But there's no particular reason to think she was trying to make you look bad, rather than trying to get moral support from her friends. She was telling the truth. You did fuck zone her. This isn't a bad thing to do, but it can hurt someone's feelings anyway, just as friend zoning can. So I think everyone overreacted a bit. It sounds like the other girls got up in arms over something that you were well within your rights to do. And that wasn't fair of them. But it sounds like you had hurt her even though you didn't mean to. So it's understandable that her close friends were unhappy. You overreacted by deciding Caitlin was deliberately stirring up trouble for you when she probably wasn't. You were within your rights not to drive them home, at least so long as they had another safe way. And it sounds like there were Ubers in the area. So there's nothing wrong with deciding you didn't want them in your car. But I do try to encourage you to see the whole thing from her perspective, especially through the lens of assuming she thought you were better friends in the first place, than you ever thought you were. It makes a lot of sense of it all. That literally has 2.5 thousand likes, all sorts of awards and rewards and so forth. As
a man who has lived that exact same situation, that person put that whole thing so eloquently, so correctly that if I was on Reddit right now and was able to give them the fucking top award, I would. They wrote that to like the perfection. That's exactly what I went through, and they're exactly right. It's two people who want two different things, and it's okay for two people to not agree on those two things and to be able to go their separate ways. And perception is going to be different based on who wanted what, and people are maybe going to be hurt, but that's just going to have to be okay. You're not being cruel to the other person. You're just being honest with yourself.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm going to give them an award in your stead, sir.
Thank you.
We're gonna hit them with the it's a guy raising a wine glass.
Hell yeah! Get drunk on me. Your pal Z.
I did not add a message. I simply just gave him the award.
I think that's what Dan Aykroyd says in Tommy Boy. Like, tough break, get drunk on me, use the ice to get your balls swelling down, your pal Z or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks since we've done more than just one of Emma the Asshole, and that one in particular, like I said, that fuck zoning is what put me. If you wonder what got me into that one, but
I
that
literally
really went.
feel like I've learned something tonight.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm copy this information down so I can put it in
It's
the
like
show notes later.
we all knew that perspective from the other side, but I didn't know that there was terminology for the fuck zone side. This has been a
Yeah.
fascinating experience.
Hey, every so often, the shit pays off. And, like I said, I am copying and pasting this in, so it'll be in the show notes, so you can click on it yourself and go read it for yourself if you are so inclined. I have no idea if people use our show notes like I intend them to, but there are all kinds of links in there, people, if you were so inclined, and probably depending on what your podcatcher is, if they work like they're supposed to. Let's see. Oh, you know what it is. We talk a little entertainment talk, and T made it a point again this week to type out what he has watched and played. I'm caught up. I'm all caught up. I'm still going through on Obi-Wan and still loving Obi-Wan. And I literally for years. I mean, since the first time I got an MP3 player, have listened to a podcast called The Geek Box, and they was talking about Obi-Wan in a way that upset me so much that I was like, I am no longer going to be listening to The Geek Box.
Oh wow.
I literally went and erased it out of my podcatcher. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. It's not because of they said anything rude or sexist or anything like that. They was just talking so recklessly about a show that one of them had not even watched. So he's just talking shit about a show he had not watched at all. And I was just like, if this is what you're gonna do, if this is what this is gonna be going forward, if this is what this show has become, because we've all aged and we all become old men, then it's not really for me anymore. And I went ahead and deleted that show from my feed because, like I said, I'm not saying Obi-Wan is perfect and you must love it or you don't love me, but I do enjoy Obi-Wan and I have watched Obi-Wan, so I can at least speak to fucking Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan is perfect, and if you don't like it, suck a dick.
No, eat a dick, sir. Eat a dick.
Sorry, eat a dick.
Put respect on the name.
Put that shit in the air fryer.
I watched the first 2 episodes of this season of the new season of Stranger Things. It's very good. It's just they're long and it takes some sitting down and
yeah,
some focus.
It's a little fucking confusing in those last couple episodes.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go back and watch season 3 and maybe just get my brain caught back up. Because I was sitting there, I was like, oh yeah, this did happen. Oh yeah, that did happen. So I was really doing a lot of that. So, but also I just watched the first 2 episodes. I'm not super deep into. I think there's 6 episodes in this first part of the season.
There's 7.
7. Okay, yeah. So I still got.
I'm telling you, when you get to episode like 6 and 7, make sure you're not distracted by anything else. Like, don't have a friend who's trying to talk to you every 5 minutes while you're watching it, because it definitely requires a lot of like paying attention and figuring out what you're watching, because it is confusing.
Okay. So I will give them that stuff. I've been watching Ms. Marvel. There's only 2 episodes on that one, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy everything about that show. It is I don't know. It just speaks real loud to your boy for some reason, and I'm like, this mystery is getting deeper, and I'm like, damn it, why did y'all give us? Well, had they given us 2 to start the season off like they've been doing most of their shows, I don't know where I would have been at now, so it's cool. It's okay to keep giving it to me week by week. I accept it. Floor Lava is back on Netflix, so there's fresh episodes of that show on, and it's only gotten better. They took all this damn COVID time they had off to tweak that game in ways, and I'm like, yeah, you did a good work. So it's good to have that show back. Floor Lava is a dumb game show where people try to not slip off of shit. It's like the Double Dare for adults. It's way fun. So I really enjoyed that. I watched. I'm the For All Mankind is back on Apple TV Plus, and I really love that show. And I would tell you to go watch that show. And I'm on episode 2 of this of this. I think it's their last season. So and it's very good. It's just very fucking good, and I love where the direction the show's headed in. And I'm very excited by it. I did watch Sonic 2. I liked it. I'm not saying it's great, but it's pretty darn fun. So, and
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Idris Elba as Knuckles, a delight. A delight. So I would just tell you to get out. Plus, Jim Carrey is another dude. I'm just like, okay, fuck with it. I would tell y'all, I didn't really watch it. Vanessa was watching. I was kind of just more listening to it. But the Bob Saget Memorial, which is on Netflix right now,
Okay.
amazing. From just the bits I heard of it, Chris Rock's there, Jim Carrey's there, all kinds of comics are there. Bob Saget's wife was there, to represent the family and so forth and so on. It's very touching. It's very good, and so I would tell you to maybe get down with that if you have Netflix or the ability to get a hold of Netflix. No Time to Die, the last Daniel Craig James Bond movie is out now on Amazon Prime Video, and it was perfect. It was the perfect last James Bond movie from man Daniel Craig, and I respect the fuck out of him for going out on his terms. And I would tell you to go ahead and watch that if you fuck with James Bond movies. I don't know if you do. If you do, go get that. Your boy got another victory royale in Fortnite, and I've been having a great time playing Fortnite. I got two second place finishes today. And today was it today? No, it was yesterday. And it was upsetting. The one time my son was like, "Bro, you got to change your guns faster, Dad." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." But then the second one, where I came in second, I did switch the guns like he told me to, and the guy just it was just popping at each other, and he just got more clean hits than I got on him, and he won. So I am pretty good at Fortnite, and I really have been having a good time with that, and so that has been a delight. That's all I've been. No, I started Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge, which is available with your Game Pass subscription if you have Game Pass, but available for purchase on everything. Is a damn good game. Especially if you like the Turtles in Time and Turtles arcade games from back in the day. And like I said, if you got Game Pass, why not? Don't cost you shit. So I would tell you to get down with that. So that's what I've been playing and watching. What about you guys?
Well, I watched they put the second season of Fast Foodies up.
Nice.
I bought this at the toy show yesterday.
Murdude. That's a cool title.
It's on card, unpunched.
Oh, nice.
How much was it, if you don't mind me asking?
Let's say it was over 100 and keep it at that.
Okay, it looks perfect.
But you know what? Fuck it. It was 125. I paid for 125 for it plus the case it's in.
Nice.
Okay. I really enjoy the show Fast Foodies. It's like where different celebrities come on. They say what their favorite fast food is. The first thing they do is replicate it. Like the three chefs on the show, they replicate say a
Big Mac and fries or something, right?
A what?
A Big Mac and fries or something like that, eh?
Yeah, Big Mac. And Big Mac and fries. So the three chefs do that, and then they win that challenge. And then, excuse me, the second challenge is to recreate it in a different way. So say you said Big Mac and fries.
Yeah.
So maybe the next time they'll do a soup where it's like dill and crouton, like croutons on top as the bread, like pieces of wagyu beef throughout the soup, and like potato noodles. Like that's how they were recreated in some way. That's just an example.
Yeah.
And then
okay. Now where is this available at? I'm sorry.
On HBO, it's I think it's a True TV show, but it's on HBO Max.
Okay. Is it a show they still making, or is it just I don't know if they still make?
I think they're still making it because this I didn't even know season 2 was up. I just was putzing around and I found it. I was like, man, I love this show.
Nice. You said Natasha Leggero's on there?
She was on the episode, and I think the first season Ron Funches is on there. He had an episode.
Nice.
Gabrus is on one of the episodes this season because
Oh,
him and
dope.
what's that? Adam Pally have a show coming out pretty soon.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and it's gonna be on True TV too. So like a cross reference.
nice. Ron Funches has a show coming with Maya Rudolph on Apple TV Plus on the 24th. I believe it's called Loot,
Hmm.
They've
and
been running that in my Twitter feed. The ad for
it
that.
look it looks pretty cool when I fuck with Ron Funches and I fuck with Maya Rudolph for that matter. So I'm kind of excited to see where that show goes and how it goes. So heads
Um,
up.
I mean, of course, I'll watch. I always watch at least a documentary a day.
Yeah,
Um, but I can't like really recall. I was writing them down, but I didn't write it down this week. Um, I've been playing the Quarry on PlayStation 5.
yeah,
It's pretty good. It's like it's a it's just like a choose your own adventure book that you used to read when you were little. Like you make decisions like um are you going to answer angry? Uh are you going to answer calmly? And mostly like I try to answer like I try to be nice and polite except when I was talking to the cops I was like fuck you. That was the only time I really got like and it's funny. Like I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I might say it's kind of on the bad thing because the story is mostly a story, and then every once in a while, like you got to do an action, and that fucks me up because like I'll be listening to the people like act out this shit, and then right in the middle of it, I got to answer a question, or
yeah,
I need to hurry up and like make a decision like are you going to take this the cop's gun? But I was fucking paying attention to the story. Like how like it's kind of difficult to like to switch back to gaming mode when I'm pretty much watching a movie.
yeah. When you're engrossed in the storytell, it is
Mhm.
reviewed very well. It's like one of the higher rated review games this year. So I respect the hell out of it in that
It's
regard. I'm
it's
glad you were enjoying it.
it's fun. I would give it like maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Like it's very good, but at the same time, it's like, and I want to play it. And also, I mean, to take it a step further, I think there is a mode where you can just watch and not play.
Okay,
So I'm
Chavoyer
enjoying
on.
that so far. Yeah. But after that, I'm just gonna go back to playing Ghost of Tsushima right after that.
Okay.
Can't wait to go back to play that.
I love that game speaks so loudly to you. Because like I said, that's one of the ones that had its hooks in me too. So Ghost is a very, very good game.
It's like it's it's a full meal of a game. Like
Yeah.
it's not one of those games where you can like of course you could just play casually, but it is a very long game. Like I see how people play Grand Theft Auto and finish it in a weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can finish Ghost of Tsushima and play it and be done in a weekend.
Yeah. I ain't built for that kind of life of gamerdom. Daniel, what you been watching and playing or grinding on or so forth and so on?
I'm current on Miss Marvel. I'm current on Kenobi. I have one more episode of Halo to watch. Like I just watched episode 8 right before we hopped on here to do this. I watched Morbius today.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah, it was on rental for like $5, and I had a $2 Amazon promo credit. So
Okay.
I don't know, it was $6 rent, and so yeah, I paid $4 to watch it. It wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad as the internet led me to believe it was going to be. It was $4 worthy.
Well, I got a copy from the library the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Not for myself because my partner wanted to see it and she was like said it a few times like yeah I want to go see it, I want to go see it, and then I know they're trying to make it come back to the theater like one more time.
They
Uh,
did, and then it made $85,000 I think that campaign didn't work out like they thought it was. They really thought that Morbin time was going to get them. It was like when they thought Snakes on the Plane was going to be huge because people wanted, was cracking jokes on the internet about Snakes on the Plane. Like that shit don't always cross over to the theater.
Yeah, sometimes the movie is just like a cultural thing. It's not an actual I need to go see this movie thing.
Correct.
But yeah, like I opened up the TV earlier and it was like on my homepage and I hovered over it to see if like it was just I was able to just watch it like if it was on something.
Yeah.
And it was like rent for $5.99. I was like, And then when I checked Amazon, it was on Amazon for $5.99. I was like, all right, let me put these $2 to work. So yeah, I would like I said, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10. But it like I was expecting it to be like unwatchable, and it wasn't unwatchable. It just like some of the continuity was a little off, and like it was the same problem I had with like the one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, where like everything kind of happened real quickly, and they didn't do a good job of setting up why some of the shit was happening. Like one part, like they just automatically are all of a sudden on this boat, and I didn't understand why. But if you get past those things, like some of it looks cool. The story's not really that deep, so it's like it's easy to follow. Like I said, I wouldn't say go out and buy the 4K your Blu-ray or anything like that, but like if you have the opportunity to rent it for $4, maybe if you're so inclined, go for it.
Yeah, and plus it'll be on Redbox for $1 soon.
Yeah. It's just some schlock.
Yeah, it's like if you want to watch it, go for it. But like, I wouldn't say like clear your schedule or anything.
If you know a booster, tell them to get it from Walmart.
So and then you guys saw the Turtles figure that I just pulled out that I bought yesterday. But I also bought this. I went to a toy show here in Ohio, and I bought my first on-card Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figure. That I like the auxiliary characters a lot. And like when I saw that dude, I was like, "Oh man, he looks awesome!" And he was also the cheapest one at that table.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was like, "Man, the stars are aligning here." But I went to another table and I haggled a little bit with a man, and I came away with this.
Fuck yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah, this is from the 80s. This is the original. I had this when I was a kid. Like his eyes and mouth glow in the dark, and he's got the little no go symbol on his back butt cheek that glows in the dark too.
Oh,
very cool.
Yeah, it's got like some light staining on it that like they clearly cleaned up a little bit, but like overall, it's like no tears, no like funky smells, like no like egregious stains. Like it's kind of like when you own like a white jersey and you get like a little food stain on it. It's like that's what it is like right here. But overall, for being like damn near 40 years old, this thing's in amazing shape, and I was happy to get it. I feel like I was the only one at this toy show that was like had any interest in buying anything Ghostbusters related.
That's kind of nice though. You go that way. You're the maybe
The problem was there wasn't a whole lot to pick from. It was like the figures that I found. They only had like 2 tables had figures, and I already either had them all or like they were charging way too much, or like the table had like a beat up box for like the proton pack that I already have the proton pack. I just don't have the box, and I wasn't going to pay $300 just to have a box, especially if it was in bad shape. That kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then like one table had like the Slimer, the original Slimer, and the food pieces that came with it, like the pizza slice and all that shit. And they wanted $160 for it in a Ziploc baggie when I can go to eBay and get it on card for $160.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I didn't want to spend a tremendous amount of money anyway. So like $160 would have been almost everything I spent on the entire day for everything else I got. Cause I got like, you remember like the 90s Spider-Man toys from the cartoon?
Yeah.
They've been re-releasing some of them with like updated features and like accessories and stuff. And I like the goblins. I like how they look. And I wanted the Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin. And I found the booth that had the cheapest Hobgoblin. So I ended up picking him up.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
Hobgoblin and the Green Goblin look nice with those.
Yeah, like they gave their face like real definition. And I always thought like the gliders and stuff in the cartoons and shit were cool. So
Yeah, I if I'm not mistaken, I have the Green Goblin, like, and it's one of the few toys that I have opened and played with. Like, I actually played with that one.
yeah, like I had it back in the day too. Like that was one of the ones that was open and we would play with. I remember too, like they had one of the accessory like units was like the big Goblin glider. You could got. I never had that, but I always thought like the Green Goblin looked cool. Venom's clearly my favorite, but like I really do enjoy the Spider-Man villains. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got this. I got the Stay Puffed, and then I bought the turtle thing. Like my goal going into the event was to like either get an on-card turtle action figure or an on-card Ghostbusters figure or something. Like I wanted at least one thing to come home with, and the first thing I bought was the Stay Puffed. I found it at a booth, and I talked the guy off. Probably I got like a $5 off of it. So yeah, I was glad to get that back. You know, that was a piece of my childhood. Like I know I had that when I was a kid.
I like your adventures in finding things that that you had once, or things that you wanted and now can possess. It's been a good time. It's been good watching that journey with you.
I think that's the testament of our generation. Millennials, we're a nostalgia group.
Aye. If nothing else, you are that. So I think I
Think
get
about
real.
it. Think about it like this too. Our shit seems to last. I don't know if it's like because we all took care of our stuff when we were younger, or they made more of it. But like when I was a kid, I don't remember going everywhere and finding like 30, 40-year-old toys in thrift stores and around my parents' house and shit like that, you know? Like, but for us, we have these conventions and everything, and we're able to go find a damn near 40-year-old stuffed animal.
Mm. You know what it is maybe I feel like generations before you guys as parents just had a habit of throwing shit away.
Yeah. That
Whereas,
maybe because they were all dying off in war that they didn't feel the need to make toys. No,
well,
seriously. Think about it.
no,
All
but like I
the,
said, but you always hear about people's parents who like, oh, my mom threw out my baseball cards. My mom threw out my comics. My mom threw out my Transformers. My mom sold my Nintendo games at a yard sale. It's those situations. You know what I'm saying? So that's more the mindset I'm looking at.
Mhm.
So
I like. I know some people may look at it like, "Oh, you're stuck in the past, and that's useless junk." But like, maybe we just have more of an appreciation for where we came from and who we are than generations before
the
us.
world is on goddamn fire, and if I'm gonna find some fucking happiness in a toy that I had when I was a kid, suck my dick. I'm gonna go have some joy from the fucking toy that I played with when I was a kid. I'm mad. People who say that shit or think that way are just not. They're not your buddies anyway. Those that matter don't mind, and those that matter don't mind. To quote my man Dr. Seuss, it's all to the good to me. You know what I'm saying? So, ugh, I hear none of it. All right, so you ain't playing no video games though, right?
No, I haven't played anything.
That's all
Like
good.
I've left my house 3 days in a row, so like I wasn't even really like home to play Call of Duty,
Nice.
and I would have played tonight, but instead I'm here doing this.
Hey man, who knew?
What do you mean? Who knew?
I didn't know Gamers Internet was just gonna be like, no, thank you, sir. I don't like to make programs. I mean, I guess I kind of did know that, but still.
Well, I blame Gabe for taking away my evening, and I hope he hears this.
Oh no.
Oh my god. But otherwise it is what it is and so forth and so on. So please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. Please review the show. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. Review the show. When I say review the show, if you can give us stars on Spotify now, and I would really enjoy if you did that. If you don't even gotta, like I said, look, just go over there, play the show for like a minute, give me a damn star. It's real easy work, people. Give me a star, especially if you know me and you got Spotify. Come on, man, put me on, give me a star. Do that. You can write reviews, of course, over on Apple Podcasts. That still functions and works like it always has, and so that'd be a delight if you did that for me too. Follow us on our YouTube channels, where right now you could be watching this very show live as we produce it. So you could be hearing this shit talk about our co-host right now live. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on Twitter, follow us on IG, follow us over on TikTok, please and thank you, all those things. If you want to support the show financially, a few bucks starts away. Join us over on Patreon, where members at the $5 and above tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. we posted we tried up recently that included the Mrs. The Real ODP, which was a delight because I thought that episode had been lost to time, and I was like, oh no, her ass just didn't talk for a very long time, and I didn't listen far enough along to find out she was on that episode. So as it turns out, that was there the whole time. Was not lost. Did not have to go discover it. It was sitting in the folder that I have the Patreon shows in. There you go. So that all kind of works itself out. We also have a merch over available at tpublic.com/user/stage for your milk, all one word. Feel free to give us a call at 216-264-6311. It's 216-264-6311, 6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you. Now, I got a message on my personal Instagram from a listener. And he said, just heard your Texas comment on the latest show. You know, we're not all assholes here. Your comment made it seem like you didn't mind those people died in the hot air balloon because of the politics of the state. Now, if y'all recall me talking about how every accident that had an accident with that involved a hot air balloon, at least one person died, and the one in Texas, 16 people died. And I guess the way I said it got to this listener's goat, because it seemed like I was trying to shit on the state of Texas in a way. And I want to clarify that it was not my intention. But it's okay for you to feel the way you feel because that's what feelings are. I don't fuck with Texas as a state because of its politics. I will cop to that readily. But that don't mean that there's not some decent people to be had in the state of Texas, including one of this guy who listens to our show. And I don't want you to think that I'm shitting on the good people of Texas. Or even in that regard, was I saying fuck those people who died? Because I certainly was not. It was more me saying Texas is that sometimes seems like a lawless land. You know what I'm saying? That with very little regulation. And people dying of a hot air balloon crash in Texas of that magnitude, one of the largest hot air balloon disasters of that disaster. It seemed to me that yes, of course it would happen in Texas because that's the state that has that is just rife with regulatory issues, and not because of I'm like fuck those people for voting who for Greg Abbott or anything like that. That was not my intention, but it is what seemed to come out what you heard from my mouth. And I apologize for that. And then to any of you guys who were offended by that and thought I was talking a little reckless, my apologies for that. Certainly did not mean to do that. Was not what I was trying to do. But lesson learned, and I'll try to be better about how I say such things going forward. And plus, I got a team here. They will gladly correct me when I'm wrong and talk greasy about me and tell me to eat dicks and so forth and so on. Because that's how we get down. That's how Team SKiM rolls. And on that note, our missing man is the real ODP. Send him some love. Send him some Father's Day greetings. It was Father's Day for him too, and we simply wish the best for him at all times because that's my man's. So so we got to put some love on him, and that's what's up. That is Tatum 216.
Snack Carlo. Good night.
That is Lunchbox 2099.
Pooping your pants is cool. Consider me Miles Davis.
I am the Internet Sarah 713. You have just been podcast to, and I am certain you loved it. We'll catch you next time. Peace. That's squeaky. Hold on.
Damn
Peace.
right, I like fries.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.